Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now that's below in memory of our friends, just so you can find it. If you are not a member or not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying, courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunthangar, will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in and just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can make your comments or questions known during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John's, the contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe, and when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so that whether myself or Sparky comes on, you'll be notified. Share the videos, comments on the videos. All these activities help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99, that blue button below. Hit that, and you have, there's 3 tiers, but the lowest tier is $4.99 a month, which is like the price of a cup of Starbucks coffee. So, just a cup of coffee a month, 1 cup of coffee a month will help us, and we appreciate it. Now, I'm also a member too. I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account, and I don't miss it. And I suspect you won't miss it either. Plus, you'll be doing something toward your hobby. Hopefully you're as passionate as I am about it. I love this hobby. And if you don't want to do the subscription, you can also use the super chat, which is located below the chat box, the big $sign, and donate any amount you like there. Excuse me. And your support is helping. Now, as a YouTube member, you will have unlimited access to member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Okay, now this is Sparky's YouTube channel. This is not mine. I have a channel. It's called Flying Control Line Stunt. Let me repeat that. Flying Control Line Stunt. And I fly control line, so it's called Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you go to that channel and locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his Junar XL, and I'll receive a notification and be able to respond to you quickly. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm now going to post a link at the Stunthangar forum. Let me go there now and post this link. And it's posted right now. And next thing I'm going to do is go to the what I call the control panel. I see there's some people there already. Let me locate this real quick. Hope everybody had a great holiday. I had a really good time. I still have children at home, and so it's always exciting to see their expressions and their appreciation and surprise. So we have a few surprises. We had a good time. I actually did not go on my shop at all on Christmas Day. I stayed in the house and watched some Christmas movies and just hung out with the family. And it was great. So I'm looking here and I see we have 7 concurrent viewers, 5 likes. So those of you who have not hit the like button, please smash that. It won't cost you a penny. And it helps the analytics of the show. So please do that for me. And if you're watching this as a replay, hit the like button then too. I know I have really good response from the live audience, but if you're watching this as a replay, it's just as important that you like it. And so looking at the chat box, I see Jack Snavely. He's one of our YouTube members. He says hello and all around the world, just saying hi and enjoying the show. Like is in, thank you. And he has like 3 airplane stickers. Then Jeff Riley says, good evening, folks. Like sent. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Dennis Adamison says, hello, Jack, Jeff, Charles. Like delivered. Happy Boxing Day. Yes, this is the day you start putting everything back and tearing all the lights down and starting out, getting all ready for next year, right? Let me get this thing set up here. Just a minute. Yeah, come on. So I see there's Gary in here already. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Good.
I tried calling you earlier today, Gary.
Oh, did you? Okay, I saw your.
Yeah, I got your voicemail. So,
Okay.
anyways, how you doing? How was your holiday?
Good, pretty good. Cold.
Cold, yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't cold for me, but I understand everywhere else is cold. Hey, Dennis, how are you doing? Thank you for coming in, Dennis.
Danny, feeling better?
Dennis, you got to lower your boom. We don't hear you.
We'll try it again. Good to see you, Gare. Ah, Howard's here too. Evening.
Yeah.
Hey, Howard, how you doing, Howard?
Lovely.
Great. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
It's nice to be here.
Absolutely. And Tom Rammel, he gave us a like. So thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. Let me see here. I got stuff in my computer that's bothering me. Hang on. Let me try to get rid of this stuff here.
His Excellency just joined.
Yes. Hey, Mark. Welcome.
Hey, Charles.
How you doing?
I'm good. Howard, Dennis, Gary, beautiful job on the DVD.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, he did. He did an excellent job. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm. Got mine too. Thanks a lot, Gare. It's a wonderful piece of work. It looks like it even better than the last one. So got more
Dennis,
pictures, more planes in it.
Yeah.
Dennis, are you feeling better?
Not really,
Oh,
but that's okay. I have antivirus on my PC, so you should be okay, Mark.
Very good. I love that. Very good.
well, I have a gas-powered computer, so I'm not sure.
All right.
Oh man.
That's it. Like they used to talk about surfing the net with a Smith Corona or something like that.
Mm. You know, Gary, I was thinking when Sparky said you didn't receive his,
Mhm.
his probably went to Dayton, Ohio. Right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, he's in Missouri.
Right. He might not have caught the mail before he left.
Yeah, so he'll probably when he gets there, I think he's going there shortly. I think he has to be back there. He might have gotten back there
Today, I think.
I think so. So he'll probably get it then.
Yeah, his video today said something about being in the Western workshop. So I presume that's St. Louis and and he said he was heading east I think tomorrow. So that'll be that.
Hey, Stuart, thanks for coming in.
Hey,
How you doing? How you doing, Stuart?
oh, I'm good. Yep.
All right.
Good.
Did you
Snow's
receive your,
settling down. It said the snow's settling down finally.
All
did you,
right.
did you receive your calendar yet?
Nothing yet. But if you
Nothing.
sent me something that could take weeks getting up to
Well,
Canada, we got
yeah.
snail mail.
Yeah.
It's pretty slow.
Okay.
So
Anybody do any work in their shop? I know we've been busy with the holidays. Did anybody get a chance? I didn't go in the shop at all one day. I think I was in there maybe Saturday, but Sunday I didn't. I stayed inside.
I'm still working on my Cub. But
No,
it's
that's
not,
good.
it's
That's
not
cool.
the goal line. Got to get this done so I can get on my twister.
Yes. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
Bob Hunt's in the house. Thank you, Bob.
Again,
Right.
Merry Christmas and all that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hello to you.
Huh?
What was that, Howard?
All that to you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So anybody spend any time in their shop at all during this weekend or since last time we met?
A little bit.
Yes, but not
as much.
productively.
Around the holidays, you never get any, no matter how much you plan, you never get that much done.
Yeah, I didn't. I just resigned on Sunday to stay in the house. I didn't go in the shop once. Hey, Jeff Riley said he did get a calendar. Thank you, Gary.
Okay.
Yeah, I got mine too. Thanks, Gary. Gonna send you up a little donation here. I got my list of things to do.
Me too.
Excellent. Excellent.
Charles, did I tell you guys about Snickers? You know, a Snickers bar?
You mean one of these?
That's it.
Oh, geez.
That's it. Well, I got to tell you my story here.
Okay.
And according to Mrs. Weiss, I have now become an old coot.
I could have told you that.
Well, about a week ago, I went to get a Snickers bar, which I've done for as long as I can remember. And I parked on a quiet street, turned on some music, ripped open the wrapper, took a bite, and I said, uh-oh, something's wrong.
Oh, no.
Yep, peeled the wrapper back a little further, another bite. This is unacceptable. Now, I finished it just to make sure my opinion was correct. What it was missing was peanuts.
Really?
Yes. So I waited 2 days. I'm telling you, it was not easy. I waited 2 days, went to a different place, got a Snickers bar. Okay, parked in a quiet street, pulled the wrapper back, took a bite. Just like a woman, no nuts.
Hmm.
So that was it. I was done. I threw it out. I saved the wrapper. And at a weak moment, I looked at the phone number on the wrapper and I called Mars Candies, which is an enormous corporation.
Yes.
And the owners are worth $36 billion each, husband and wife, each. So I wanted to talk to somebody and tell them how I felt about this. And I finally got a person, customer service. And he says, can I help you? I said, yes. Where are my nuts? And he said, what do you mean? And I told him about all these years of having Snickers. And he said, well, I'm not sure what you're saying. I said, listen, I'm telling you, I ate 2 Snicker bars. I figured the first one went through somehow, got past quality control. But I'm telling you, my 2 Snicker bars had no peanuts. He said, I'm not sure that's possible. I said, I'm very sure it's possible. So I'd appreciate it if you tell the owners. I have another way for them to save money on their Snickers. He said, what would that be? I said, well, why don't you just save the wrapper? And he said, well, how would we do that? And I said, well, since it tastes like poop, it might as well look like poop.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes. Yes, I was angry. I told him I was head of Pampa and everything. You know. So apparently people that I've shared this story with are looking at me like,
Did he snicker at that?
Oh, that's funny. Good
I'm
one.
glad it wasn't you. So I went on Facebook and I'm trying to get a worldwide ban.
Wow.
So
How's that
far,
going?
two people have agreed.
Are you sure you didn't just get a Milky Way?
That would be a Milky Way.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Well, it's missing the nuts. It's missing the texture. You know? So I'll try to hold on for this whole meeting, but I'm angry.
Well, I actually, we have something in common. I actually did call Mars one time, but I bought, I'm not sure if it was a Snickers or something, but it must have been an old candy bar. It was stale, and I called up Mars and complained. They sent me some vouchers for some free candy bars. So maybe you might get some free vouchers for a couple of replacement candy bars.
Well, I don't want them.
Well, given your comments, they might send you a voucher for free toilet paper.
Oh, very good. Very
Hey.
good.
I can roll with that.
Let me catch up with the chat box.
I'm done. I'm done.
Like that scene in Caddyshack, the Snickers floating in the swimming pool.
Yep,
Yes.
It's a great scene.
that is.
Anyways, T-Bone 1260 says, hello all. Hope you all are well. And then he goes on to say, obviously, Mark is not well.
That's one smart man.
Never been any dispute about that.
And let me welcome Mike Lonke and his friend Chris. Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate that.
Hi, guys.
And Keith Trossel is making his way in here. So Keith will be here. Hey, Keith,
There
how
he
you
is.
doing?
Doing good. Hi.
Hi. Have you had any chance to work on your big job or anything else?
Yeah, it's progressing slow.
At least it's progressing. That's more than I can say about my precious balsa. It's not progressing at all.
So
Okay.
what's going on?
We're just talking about
Snickers.
Snickers candy bars.
And the fact that Mark has no nuts.
No, I have them. So you got to get the facts straight. But I'm trying to be an adult, and I'll go from here.
I'm going to test this one out, Mark, just to make sure that mine's not like what you received.
Don't lie to me now.
I have nuts. I mean,
Did you
these
bring
have
it?
nuts.
Did you bring enough? Did you bring enough for everybody?
No. Sorry.
Charles, if you would spit out those and send them to me, I'd appreciate it.
Oh. That's okay. I'll do you a favor. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Jeff Riley says, Baby Ruth in the pool, Bob. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was the baby Ruth. That's right.
That's right. No, I'll make it.
Well, did anybody get any anything they really wanted for their hobby? That did get anything for Christmas?
Yeah, I got two brand new badass motors for my two Caprices.
Oh, nice.
Alright.
28, 27 10s. Yeah. Or
Now,
something.
did your wife get those for you, or did you get those for yourself?
Well, my wife wrapped up the box after I picked it up at the post office and gave it to me.
Nice. Hey, that's great.
And a
Anybody
bunch
else get any goodies underneath the Christmas trees? I remember Wendy always asking, hoping that someone would give him a Super Tiger 60 back in the day for Christmas. But did anybody else get anything they wanted?
I went to a contest once, and second prize was first prize was a Super Tiger 60, and second prize were two Super Tiger 60s.
Now.
Well, I got a spot welding apparatus. Yeah, I got that. So
Yeah, we got one too.
to my
Wow.
wife, what I wanted, and my daughter and my wife, they went in together and bought it for me.
Be careful with that.
Well, tell me, how should I be careful, Howard? Be more elaborate.
Don't short it out the battery. it might do more spot welding than you intend to.
Ah,
So how do you avoid shorting out the battery? I mean, you got the two probes, you keep them separate, right?
Yeah, you gotta keep your wits about you. I think I'm too absent-minded to attempt battery assembly. But all these spot welders proliferating, I could probably get somebody else to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got it, and matter of fact, it's here, but I'll get out maybe later on. But I've been watching a lot of videos, and I'm Brent Williams turned me on to this idea of using the soldering wick instead of that nickel sheet metal they use. And so I'm kind of going back and forth between actually soldering and spot welding. Now, I'm not really sure yet. I don't have peace yet which way to go, but I'll probably try them both. Paul Taylor says like sent, and hello everyone. Thank you, Paul.
I wrote there.
What'd you say, Howard?
I said, hi, root beard.
Root beard.
Root beard. Oh, okay.
Hey, Howard,
That went over my head.
Howard, I got
Yes.
another nice package in the mail a couple days ago. Thank you very much. Do you need
Well,
reimbursement for the postage and the book and all that stuff?
I had another tidbit I was going to stick in there, and I forgot. So the mail keeps dribbling in, Keith.
Okay. Gives me something to look forward to, Howard.
Okay.
Okay.
We're done now.
That book goes, there's a whole series of, that publisher did a whole series of books, and that goes very nicely with several others that I have. So thank you.
I didn't see the others.
Well, there's just they publish books in that for like that, and all good.
hey, Bob,
Yo,
can you share, I mean, if it's okay with everyone, some more photos?
what do you want to say?
Airplanes.
There you go.
Hey, Carl. Thanks for coming in, Carl.
I'm currently writing a little book, I guess you would call it, on the Crossfire series of airplanes.
Yep.
And I've been going through all my Crossfire photos, building and finishing and flying and all that stuff. I could, they're currently, in my mind, so I could do those,
We have some good techniques in there.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of special construction techniques. Well, I shouldn't say an awful lot. There's a few special things on that airplane that I think are very beneficial because of the way the wing is, the swept forward trailing edge on that airplane. It puts the forward spar in the foam wing at a point where you could put a straight through joiner spar to join the two full depth spars that are in the wing that go out beyond the landing gear plates. Normally, when you have a straight trailing edge airplane, that foam spar in the front is swept, and it's difficult to put a straight through joiner spar in there. And so I'm kind of going over how to make that joiner spar in this. That's part of this book thing, a little bit about construction. So you've read part of it. I sent you some of it to read.
I think it's great. I really do.
I've changed it quite a bit since then, and I've added a tremendous amount of photos. So I think it's going to be good, and it's free. I mean, it's going to be something if anybody wants it. It'll be free. Postage is $400, but they you can keep talking. I'll just pull up some photos, and we'll.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you very much.
We'll do something. No, let's keep chatting, and I'll.
All right. Hey, Carl. How was your holiday?
Oh, it was nice. Thanks. How about yourself?
Good. Just stayed home. I didn't work on my airplanes or anything, so I just stayed in the house. But I was just curious.
Yeah,
Here
we go.
we had a pretty busy day. We went over to my daughter's house. I just lived around the corner. We were there at their house at 6 o'clock. Watched the grandkids open up their gifts and came home, and then went back over and mid afternoon Christmas dinner and came home again. And that was it.
All right. Take it away, Bob. Bob Hunt, go ahead.
Okay, well, what you see here is the thing on top is the Crossfire Extreme. It says joiner spar or scab spar, as I call it, the joiner spar template. You need to make a template, and you do that by you have a slot in the wing, a spar slot behind the actual spars, the full depth spars that are in the wing, and it's about 4 inches long. And you slide pieces of 1/8 inch balsa in up tight against the skin on either side, and you put a little joiner piece. That piece on the end of that is goes right up against the wing, and you pull it out. You have a template with which to make your joiner spar. And if you notice, the joiner spar is capped with balsa wood, because if you put two dissimilar density materials next to each other or against each other in the same grain orientation, you'll eventually get a crease in the wing, because it'll have dissimilar rates of contraction when it gets out in the sun and things, and you'll see a little crease where the joiner spar is. So if you both cap your main spars and your joiner spar with balsa wood, and that goes against the balsa wood that's in the sheeting, then you won't get any kind of crease in the wing, or you won't see the spar location when the finish starts to dry out a little bit. I don't know if that's clear or not, but
yeah, it makes sense.
And this joins the two spars. Now I'll see if I can get another picture up here in a minute that will show that in place. All right, yeah, this will do.
Hey, Joe Gilbert's in the house. Thank you, Joe, for coming in. Appreciate
good to be
it.
here. Thank you.
Hi, Joe. Okay. Now, if you see, that's the joiner spar, and if you look at the root there of the wing, right in front of the joiner spar, you can see the main spar.
Yes, I see it.
And this goes right up against the back of that, and it joins straight through. So gives you a little extra strength in the wing. Not that we've ever had any of them fold, even when you butt joint them and just do a piece of cloth around them or something around the joint. But this gives you an extra amount of strength, but it can only be done if you can keep the foam spar 90 degrees to the center of the wing, because the joiner spar has to go straight through. And a swept wing, it's very difficult to do this.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's another advantage of the swept forward trailing edge. Not that that's a reason to do it, but just one more ancillary benefit,
Mm-hmm. That bell crank, did you make that bell crank, or did you buy that
No,
bell crank?
that's actually a Brett Buck bell crank.
Yeah, I recognize it, but did you make it or did you buy it from?
Oh, I bought it. Yeah, that was a Tom Morris unit from way back when. And that picture was taken in 2010.
Oh
when I
my
was
goodness.
building that airplane. So, see what else we got here. Another thing I wanted to show here, and this would be good. And you're doing a swept forward trailing edge airplane. I've said this in the past, I've mentioned it here, that you don't have to have split horns. You can use one straight horn on a swept forward trailing edge. And Billy Werwich has always used straight horns. But the key to it is to keep this area here. I don't know if that little cursor is going back and forth there.
It is.
Okay, well, to keep that, there's a flat that's 90 degrees to the center line of the wing. That's supremely important when you're doing that straight horn on the swept forward trailing edge. And the actual horn only goes into the very end of the flap. I mean, within just into a little piece of basswood that's attached to the end of the flap. And then you put your first hinge out about 5 or 6 inches because your horn already has a bearing on it. It's staked to the back of the wing. And the first hinge out about 5 inches or so, when you do deflect the flaps, you do get a little movement up or down, but it's so minimal. And if you put the first hinge out about 5 or 6 inches, you never notice it, and they're very, very smooth to control. So it can be done. People say it can't be done, but Billy's been doing it for years, and so have I. So you know, just for what it's worth. You know.
That flat spot is the whole length of the flap horn.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And actually, I actually make it so it goes out to the outside of the fuse sides. That's where I do it too. You know.
And if I can interject something here, there's dihedral in that. Why you move the bearing on that flap horn up to where the horn wires still go in the flaps at the right place.
Mm-hmm.
Hope I explained that okay.
Yeah.
I think so. See what else we got here. Wanted to show you. I was mentioning where you stake the horn to the back of the wing. I wanted to show a picture of that too. How I do that. If I could find one here. Got one here someplace. I can keep chatting while
I'll read some chats. Paul Taylor said, I need to change my handle to diet root beer. Too many Christmas cookies were consumed. And then T-Bone 1260, he says, I heard that the Crossfire won the advanced Nats this year.
That's true.
Yes, I heard that too. I've seen your picture holding your Crossfire.
Well, it was actually Tom Luciano.
Yeah, Luciano.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's who's saying that. It's Tom
Yeah.
Luciano saying that. So.
Yeah, he built the drop nose variant where we had the motor center line more. I don't think it's exactly in line with the wing center line, but it certainly has dropped down a bit compared to the one I built, the first one I built. Anyway, this one shows how I use these little plywood pieces to stake the horn bearings to the back of the trailing edge.
I love it. It looks great. Yeah, it looks so clean and so businesslike.
Yeah, it worked really well.
It can't be better.
Yeah, I don't know how you could improve that.
Well, it's one way of doing it. I'm sure there are others. I never like those little things that wrap around the bearings, those metal brass pieces and push into the back of the trailing edge. I can never get those perfectly aligned, but these I can get perfectly aligned and make sure they're aligned and then glue them, and they're never going to come out. They're never going to move. So
the trailing edge of the wing, is there a recess at all for that horn, or is just the horn just butt up against the square?
Yeah, I don't want it recessed into the wing. I want the pivot of the wire to be the same as the pivot on the barrel of the hinges. Otherwise, you get an arcing and it wears out your hinges. So you want the pivot of the hinge barrel to be on the center line of this wire here. So actually you want it back a little bit. So it seems to work all right. So just a thought. So stop me when you want me to stop.
No, don't stop.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's very good.
All right, let's see. We'll go to some Crossfire pictures here.
Bobby, I got a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I do not glue that flap horn into the flap. I build tubes around that and let it slide in and out as it wants to.
Yeah.
Do you do that also, or do you glue the flap horn to the flap?
I don't think it's necessary to glue the flap horns if it's a tight fit.
I don't either.
Tight fit. I don't think
I don't glue mine. I don't know if everybody else did, but I don't glue mine.
I don't glue mine either. I just thought if it wasn't glued, it could move a tiny bit if it needed to. It doesn't make any difference, but I just thought
I don't know what's right either. I don't know what's right. That's just what I do.
This is that showing or not? No.
Not yet.
It's hard to get flaps off. They're glued.
There you go, Howard. Howard's right.
Ooh, that is pretty.
That's the Crossfire XLTC. standing for extra long tricycle gear. That had an extra inch added to the nose, and subsequent to that, I've added yet another inch for the electric. Found out that, since the electric motors are so much lighter than the equivalent glow motor, it makes no sense to put an electric motor in a battery and then add a bunch of dead weight to balance the airplane. So you just move the motor up further forward. So the new one's actually an inch longer than that.
Wow.
Yeah, this is longer. This has got an inch. This has got a 2-inch longer wing than the standard Crossfire. An inch longer nose, a half-inch longer tail length, not moment. That's not a moment. The tail hinge line to hinge line length, and then a half-inch longer per panel stabilizer. So it's just stretched. And this may have been the best flying Crossfire of the bunch, and certainly one of the best airplanes I ever had. And in a weak moment, I sold it to a friend of mine for a whole lot more money than I could turn down.
Dang it.
That thing is beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, it was a good airplane. Billy Ware would love this airplane. Anyway, I'll show you.
Even though it's electric, he loved it, huh?
He actually, yeah, he really did. He's not opposed to the electric. He just he figured he didn't have enough time in his life left to get conversant with it, which I was trying to convince him he was wrong. But this is one of the things under construction in finish. You can see how long the wing is. It's much longer, more of a Denny Adamson kind of take. I always liked Denny's airplanes. I flew the Eclipse back in I don't know, when was that, Denny? Way back. Denny, you there? No, anyway.
He's muted.
He's muted.
He's there, but he's muted.
Yeah,
Let me welcome Bob Whitley. Thank you, Bob, for coming in.
Hey guys, hope you had a good Christmas.
Yes, very good.
I heard a bit earlier about the goodies you got, but I'll have to rewatch that. I had to go do something else, but
Yes. And Peter and Navi, thank you for coming in, Peter.
Hi guys.
Hi, Peter.
Peter.
so I got a nice Christmas present from my wife.
Uh-oh. What'd you get
She
you?
handed me $500 and said, "Get all the contest balls that you can."
Oh my
Oh,
God,
nice.
you got about 4 sheets.
Yeah,
it'd be
that's about 3
yeah.
sheets, right? So
Yeah.
He'll get a good group of it. Call
Oh,
them
look at
those.
that. That's a great shot.
Yeah, I think that was
Look how little bit of controls are in that airplane, the up and the down. 4 degrees, maybe, Bob. That ain't much more than that.
Well, and that's one of the things that I got some revelations in all this. I wanted more elevator movement and quicker movement, but I was using the 1 1/4 inch horns. Now here, I'm going to turn this off so I can talk about this, and because this is something I think is important. Let's see, stop share. All right. Yeah, has anybody seen the slider elevator horns that we use? Some of them have a little dog leg in them.
Yes.
So that when it goes to full deflection, you don't have to cut out so much of a notch in the bottom of the stabilizer to get,
Right.
And some are straight horns with the
Right.
slots. I compared them. Has anybody else ever compared those two, the two types?
No.
Do you know on the straight horn that you can get a 1/4 inch more up adjustment than you can with the dog leg horns?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Get it closer, you're saying closer to the elevator?
Closer to the push rod closer to the stabilizer. Yeah,
That's going to give you more control.
it's going to give you more throw versus flap throw. And one of the things I believe is important is getting the elevator in quick and getting a lot in. And I'm watching these sharks fly, and I remember back in the 70s, we all had like 80 degrees of elevator movement. We didn't know why. We just bought the horns that were available and we put them in our airplane. And it turns out that we had a tremendous amount of throw, and we were able to get very tight corners, because as soon as you start moving the handle, the elevator is really moving a great distance and asking the airplane to comply and turn quickly. And we had really, really sharp corners back then, as sharp as anybody has today. And then when I quit and came back in the late 80s, I bought the new horn setup from Tom Morris, thinking, well, horn's a horn. And put them in. I never had that kind of corner again. And it wasn't getting the elevator in fast enough. Everything was slowed down. And I guess the whole thing then was to move the balance point aft and get less control or less throw would give you movement. But it just never seemed to work for me. So now I'm going to go to much more movement, much quicker, back like we used to use years ago. And it seems to be working now. So, I mean, that's open for discussion, you know. So I'm sure Howard has a lot to say about that.
Everybody's got an opinion. I don't know what's right and wrong. I have taken those horns you're talking about and reground it deeper to get more elevator per flap. But to know what's right or wrong, I don't know. In my
with
little
the dog
world,
leg horns, you can't grind anymore. I mean, they give you, you know, it's already up.
I ground that brass piece off, it would go deeper up in there. The brass
okay. Yeah, you can do
I
the
ground
slider.
that.
Yeah, you can move the slider up. Yeah, but
That's what I did.
you still get more. If you did that even with the straight horn, you'd even get more than a 1/4 inch yet. You know,
that might be right.
And a 1/4 inch is a tremendous amount. I mean, a 1/16 of an inch is highly noticeable.
You
That's
could go
for
to a smaller bell crank and make it quicker too.
Yeah, or just adjust the ratios so that you get more
Right.
throw on everything.
In my world, in my opinion, what I think, when you move the elevators more than 25 degrees, they're stalling anyhow, you're not getting any benefit. But that's just my opinion. I know nothing. But
Did
that's
you
my opinion.
ever watch Orestes fly a corner? Ever
Yes.
watch his elevator? It looks like the
I've flown
elevator.
that airplane and
Watch some of the videos. It looks like the elevator is going about 60 degrees.
no freaking way.
It looks like it. It looks like it.
That airplane nose heavy when I flew it, in my opinion, but he handles it well.
Well,
There's
with
a
that
whole
much
bunch of
elevator
those
throw, you almost have to have an airplane that's a little nose heavy. Otherwise, you won't be able to, you know, your breathing would show up in the level of flight, you know.
He flies with a smaller
You're
handle.
breathing.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny, Bob. Your breathing would show in level flight.
It would.
I would like to fly everybody else's airplane, see how good they are. But I flew Orestes. When he flew mine, he said, "Oh, you like much more sensitive handle. I moved battery way back when you fly mine." And his airplane was dead nuts, easy to fly level ops. It still hunted a little. But when you ask it to turn, you had to ask a lot for me to get it to turn. But Orestes flies that airplane very, very well. It's a different style for me. Howard I'll bow to Howard, but I think more than 25 degrees moment's a waste of time. But I'll bow to Howard on that.
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
That really shows up the high aspect ratio.
Yeah, it does. Looks good.
On that airplane.
Is that
And it also shows you how much swept forward there is. There's 1 7/16 inch per panel sweep forward.
I think everything about that's good. And for me,
it really works well. A lot of people don't like the swept forward things, and that's fine. I mean, there are some trimming differences, but I love them because they just fly in the wind with zero stick pressure buildup.
they don't load the handle.
There's no load at the handle at all. And no matter how hard the wind blows, it's like it's on ball bearings.
Really? I've never flown a plane with forward swept trailing edge, so I had no idea.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a taste thing. Some people like it, some don't. You know,
I agree. I concur.
The one thing about this that Dean pointed out to me about the airplane that I didn't even know I did. I made my own. I used the floor shine method to make my airfoils for that airplane. The floor shine method is a Billy Simons trick where he put his shoe down on a piece of plywood and drew around it.
Yeah,
literally.
Don,
Sparky built a plane like that with his shoe.
Yeah,
he did the airfoil with his shoe.
Floor shine special. So I kind of like, you know, fudged it with other templates. But when I built it with the high point at the root a little further aft and the high point at the tips a little further forward.
Absolutely.
Dean pointed out to me, he said, well, if you take the quarter cord at the tips on each tip and you take the quarter cord at the root and you lay a straight edge on it, you have a virtual straight line from tip to tip through the quarter cords. And he said it's almost like it thinks it's a constant cord wing or something. And he said that's one reason he thinks it flies so well in the wind. Now I don't know much about aerodynamics, but I kind of used the TLIR, and that looks about right method of designing, and it really flies good in the wind.
There's something to that, in my opinion, Bobby.
Could be. I'm sure there's more to it, you know, but
your tethered flight, it's all hard and tethered. It's a different rule than free flight.
Yeah. Well, just a thought, you know. So.
All right. I've never beat Paul Walker. He doesn't have it. So what can I say?
What'd you say, Joe?
I've never beat Paul Walker, and he thinks of flat.
Oh, you never? Okay, like in the past,
So,
right?
No, I know. Well,
You're speaking past tense, right? You're not saying in the future, correct? You just
saying, Bobby. I like what Bobby's saying, but there's some other people that fly very well with straight trailing edges and tapered flaps.
Yeah, no question.
And they win. So, but Bobby is what I think. I don't like the handle to load up when I pull it. I want it to be power steering like a Ferrari all the time.
Me too.
And I don't want to pull that handle very far. I don't want to put my elbow or put my handle against my crotch to get down. I want to be right here.
There we go. Let me welcome Gordon Delaney. Hey, Gordon, thank you for coming in. We're looking at some images of Bob Hunt's Crossfire, his XLTC.
Beautiful.
And Bob has been explaining some of the unique things about it.
Yeah, it's an interesting airplane concept. Let's see now. I can't find where I am here. Share. Am I sharing that?
Yeah, you are. I'm just intrigued by acetone. Is that just the container, or you actually have acetone out there?
Yeah, I use that. Well, I fly with solids.
Okay.
Now I have to figure out why I'm not getting the. Oh, that's all right. Okay, I'm back to here. I fly on solids, and you got to keep them absolutely clean between every flight. So I use acetone. Don't use alcohol because it's got some degree of water in it. I've never had very good luck with alcohol, but I use acetone. And when it gets rainy out, I use a product that was sold by Ace Hardware called Rain Shield. Not Rain X, Rain Shield.
If you find any of it, buy it. I want a can too.
Well, Frank and I went on a search on the internet. And we cornered the market. So if you ever need some,
I got a can left, and I don't
again,
share
I'll send it to you for free with the postage of $400.
I love you too, Bobby. Merry Christmas.
You know, and I shot myself in the foot with that too. I was out at the Nationals in 2012, and the top 5 fly off. And it was very humid morning. It was very, you know, it was a lot of fog and things out there. It was very humid, hot, humid morning. And I put that stuff on my lines to prevent it from sticking. And it worked perfectly. You can fly in rain. It never even bothers it. And Dougie Moon comes up to me. He did a practice flight. And he said he almost crashed his airplane because his lines, he was using solids too. And his lines were sticking. And he says, "Can I use some of your stuff?" I said, "Sure." And the son of a gun went and won the National.
With Dale Gleason's engine, by the way.
What's that?
With Dale Gleason's PA-65, by the way.
Wow. Well, he flew really well that year.
That motor run was perfect. I remember seeing the video. Beautiful motor coming on and off. Just beautiful, excellent stunt run.
Yeah. He's an interesting guy. Yeah, so I lent him the rain shield, and he beat me.
Wow.
You doing?
So anyway,
that rain shield's good stuff, but I can't find it anymore. It's all gone that I can find.
Yeah, well, if you need some, I can probably accommodate.
I've got a half can, so I'm okay for now. But that is the best, in my opinion.
It works good.
Very good. I agree.
I flew in a heavy downpour in top 20 day in 2012, and no problems at all.
Now, Joe Gilbert, you wearing glasses, so when it rains, isn't that a problem to fly?
Take them off,
and you can see your airplane still.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And Bob, you don't wear glasses, Bob Hunt?
I used to. I don't need glasses anymore. For some reason, my eyes got better over the years, and I don't fly with glasses. I have regular sunglasses I fly with, but when it's raining, I just fly without any glasses at all.
Well, what if it's raining and the sun's out? Then what do you do?
Squint.
Well, then I fly like you do, Howard. I just close my eyes through the whole flight.
Oh, you guys are terrible.
It only looks.
There's the Genesis in its first trim scheme. That was just before the Nationals, where it got picked up by the Dust Devil and broke in half. And then Brett
Was that in 11?
that was in 2011. Yes. Mhm.
That's what I think, 11.
That plane got picked up by a dust devil and got destroyed.
Well, it
Broken-
broke the fuselage right here and put a big dent in the wingtip. And Brett Buck and I went back to the motel room and stuck it back together. And I ended up missing the top 5 by half a point.
And look at that huge propeller too.
Yeah,
Huge
that was,
top.
That is
that
a
was
big
back in
propeller.
the- was another time.
Here's
What
another
size
air.
propeller is that?
I'm sorry.
What size propeller is that?
I think that was a 13.
Okay, that is big.
Yeah.
A different
Let's see
era.
if I can find a picture of that airplane. Let's see. Crossfire.
Hey, Gordon, while he's looking for that, on the elevator horns, do you use the ones with the dog ear, or do you use the straight with the slot elevator horn with the straight slot? I mean, with the straight upright
I use the one with the dog leg.
dog leg. Okay,
The
yeah, we
old-
was talking about it earlier, and you can get closer to the pivot point with the straight one as opposed to the dog leg one.
Well, I set it in the stab far enough that the center line is in the right place, for your ball link. I have my elevator horn slightly kicked forward just a little bit.
Okay,
There's the internal after we shaved off the bottom shell, and you can see the damage that was done by the Dust Devil. It was broken in half, and we just glued it back together. But I figured I better completely rebuild it. So I got in, put new shells on the top and the bottom, completely rebuilt and refinished the airplane. It started on Easter morning, 2012. I got up that morning and something said, rebuild that airplane.
Hmm.
Oh,
very good.
yeah.
I have a comment in the chat box. Let me read this real quick. Mark Lumen says, "Gotcha like watching tonight. We all have the crud. I think Phil's germs made the Midwest been building a bit. Got the wings covered on the chipmunk. Hope you feel better real soon, Mark. Thank you for the like, and look forward for you coming back in here."
And there's the repaired fuselage and the new shell almost ready to go on.
Oh wow!
You notice it
That
had
that was a fine kit right there. A fine
what?
Bobby Hunt kit.
yeah. Yeah. So that worked out pretty well actually. So stop me when you want me to stop you, Earl.
No, this is it's good. I'm
And-
learning. I appreciate being taken to school.
Yeah, you had the can of acetone so you could remove the old paint.
Yeah, well, actually, I used clean and strip.
Oh, you stripped it, huh? Oh, my goodness.
I started with clean and strip, and then I sanded. I block sanded every last thing right back down to the original wood, and then I redid it. But you can see where I put the lightning holes in the formers there. Because in this airplane, the air comes in, goes through the fuselage. You see all the lightning holes in the formers, and there's an opening in the back of the airplane that lets the air out the back.
I saw that opening. I didn't say anything, but I saw it earlier. Yes,
Mhm.
it's about a quarter of an inch opening.
It's more like it's about a half-inch wide by about 3 inches tall. And as
Very
the air
nice.
rushes past the outside of it, it forms a low pressure area and sucks the hot air right through the fuselage and out the back.
And I see those great plane hinges you like.
Yep. I actually pulled those out of there and put plugs back in. When I decided to do the whole job, sand everything off and refinish it, I pulled the hinges out, put new plugs in there, and put new hinges in.
What do you mean plugs? What do you mean?
I pull those out, and you know, when you can't get them out that clean, you just cut around them like a 1/4 by 3/4 hole, and you plug it up. Maybe I have a picture of that. Let me see.
Fresh balsa. He puts fresh balsa.
Yeah. Pardon me.
Did anybody notice he put carbon fiber on the inside of that mold too? By the way?
Yes, he mentioned he does that a couple of times ago when he came in.
Yeah, here we go. I got one of the plugs here.
So is that what we regard as a Bob Hunt ARF?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
That was a Bob Hunt. Oops, is what that was. You know, actually, I
So
have
that's
nothing
a
to do
hinge,
with it.
that's a hinge slot we're looking at, Bob.
Yeah, and I just cut out the hinge. You know, the hinge was in here. I cut it out and I put a piece of balsa back in there and sanded it. And then I made a new slot and put a new hinge in.
Wow.
Yeah, did all the hinges that way. So,
You know, when I've cut them out, I've cut the top of the trailing edge, for example. I cut down and I remove all the wood, and then I can just pry the hinge out to remove it. If anyone's following what I'm saying, I got that idea from Wendy. I saw Wendy remove some hinges. He just cut the wood above the hinge, removed all that, and then he could just pry it out.
yeah,
Just
but
put a new plug-
there's a number of ways of doing it. I'm sure. You know, that's
Yeah,
the way.
that's interesting what you just did, though. I never thought of doing it that way.
Yeah. So, and so anyway, let's see. Here's a picture of the airplane. You know, I stripped the paint off, and then after this, I went and sanded every last bit of that carbon off. I went right back to bare wood after this picture was taken.
Mhm.
I started from scratch.
And so then you put carbon back on.
Yeah, I recarboned the whole airplane and refinished
Wow.
it. And I got 18 points that year with an airplane that I had started refinishing on Easter morning and ended up in third at the Nats with it. So that was
Wow.
great saving. And that's the airplane I flew 2 years ago at the Nats too. That airplane's been a good, and the first one I used the T-bars on too. So it's become kind of my go-to airplane for experimenting with things.
You said T-bars? What do you mean T-bars?
Oh, those things on the elevators that.
Oh, you're
call
calling them T-bars now? Okay.
Yeah, that's what Frank Williams says they technically are, T-bars. They're not gurney flaps, they're T-bars. I'll defer to him, you know.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. The thingamajigs,
Yeah, whatever. they
Chiggers.
are.
Call them chiggers.
chiggers.
So him saying T-bars, does that come from Tribulator?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Frank about that. I don't. This is this picture was taken about 2 weeks before the Nationals that year. That was about 2 weeks before the Nationals.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Whew.
Oh, you get a lot of stuff done. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was a lot of. That
That'll
was
be
a lot
pretty
of,
good.
a lot of
Pretty
sleepless nights. A lot of sleepless nights.
There's a great amount of skill in that he's not bragging about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody here, you know, knows about how hard, you know, how much work you have to put into these things. I mean, it's no doubt about it. If you want to, you know, this was like a day later after that picture you just saw. It was about a day later.
A day later. Now you drive a distance to go paint your plane, right?
Well, this one, I go get the base color shot. We used to shoot in Buddy Weeder's garage, the base color, but then I can shoot the trim at my house. And then I go back to his house for clear. Now I'm going up to Joel Costantino's. I don't know if any of you know Joel.
Oh,
but
great guy.
He does Barrett Jackson level restorations on cars. He did a $200,000 Corvette. I mean, you know, beautiful work. So I go up to his shop and we shoot the clear up there now. But this one was shot at Buddy Weeder's house, except for the trim colors. Now, all these little polywogs in here, this was part of a trim scheme that Sina Godarzi worked up for me. And I didn't do the whole scheme because I ran out of time. And I want to show you that scheme because he was an amazing, he still is, amazing graphics guy. He moved it back to Iran because he couldn't get work here.
Scenic went back to Iran?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. His brother's still in Dallas, the last I heard.
Pardon me. Let me see if I can find the, yeah, here it is. This is, I have to get to where I can share this. This is what I should have done.
Oh, son.
Oop, what did I do?
Yeah, that is nice.
I did something wrong here.
You did something wrong?
I can't see where I am here.
It's a Thunderbird looking scheme, Bob.
Yeah, but I can't see where I am here. All right. Anyway, you get the idea.
Yep.
The Thunderbirds. What I wanted to do was what I call the Thunderbird 3000. What would the Thunderbird scheme have looked like in the year 3000?
Right. Yeah. More futuristic. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. Just some stuff, you know.
Impressive stuff. That's really nice.
I'll get rid of some of these that I have up pulled up here. And then I think I can find one of it actually just kind of a couple of days before leaving for the Nationals. I got one in here someplace. And then I'll stop showing pictures.
All right.
Not it. Crossfire. I've got one here someplace. Hold on. Yeah, okay. I got a cold. Yeah, here we go. This will work. This was just before going to the Nats.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty. That still is pretty.
It's simple, and I never liked a lot of clutter on my airplanes because Billy Simons once told me when he was my mentor, and his airplanes were very clean with a lot of separation between color. And he said, all the airplanes you see with all kinds of detail all over them, they look great from about 3 or 4 feet away or 5 feet away. But from 140 feet away, where the judge is, all that stuff just looks, this is what he said. He said, it just looks like puke on the wing. He said, you can't define what a lot of, intricate detailing is from a distance. He said, you want something, and he said this, he said, it should look like a light bulb. He said, the airplane should show up like a light bulb in the sky. And I've always tried to make the airplanes have a lot of color separation, have stark colors, and very little trim on them so that everything shows up from a distance.
Very good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, because it does kind of, I remember I had a plane and separation just kind of made it all look like you said, because it just kind of, you couldn't see it. You just saw just a mess.
And also, one thing he taught me was to always have a reference line down the side of the fuselage to level flight. Never have angled lines and things. He said, always have some kind of reference that's parallel to the center line of the wing and tail. So when you turn a corner, not only can you see the corner turn, but the judges see if you turn a flat corner, the judge, of course, it'll point up a bad corner too. So,
right.
Well, that philosophy has been with full-size competition aerobatics for decades.
Yeah.
Decades.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's
That's great, Bo.
And this is out at Flushing Meadows 2 years ago. And this was right after I put on the T-bars. I went out there and won that contest, and everybody said they never saw that airplane turn so tight or lock so well. And it really did. Those little T-bars here on the, anybody trying to take them off will break their arms, I'm going to make prettier looking ones for the next airplane, but they really work well. Do they use more battery? Yeah, no doubt about it. But
drag.
What's that?
There's definitely drag on them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no question about it. I think a lot of it has to do. I always thought it was like fletching on an arrow, or that would a little drag keeps the whole airplane, going straight. But apparently that's not what's happening.
Hey, Bob,
Yeah.
is that Vic Macaluso's plane right in the foreground there?
Yes, it is. And Vic had just died just before this contest, and his sons brought the airplane to the contest, and Joe Daly did a memorial flight with it.
Oh, very nice.
That airplane owned by a guy in Florida today.
What
was that, Joe?
It's owned by a guy in Florida. Let me think of his name. Remember, Colleen?
Yeah,
we met him?
Jaworski.
Andrew.
He brought
Jaworski.
the airplane to El Dorado one time, and he wanted somebody to fly. Dude, I'll fly it, but that airplane's really too valuable to stick its neck out. To me.
Well, Joe was very conservative in flying it that day.
I would think so. There's a reason to fly that airplane.
There's a better picture of it here.
The guy at El Dorado that Matt
There you go. Yep.
Oh, that is
Remember that
sharp.
airplane.
Andrew something owns that airplane.
Yeah.
Andrew Jaworski.
That's him. Andrew owns that airplane. He had it at El Dorado 2 years ago. He said, "You'll fly it for me?" I said, "Dude, if you want me to fly it, I'll fly it around. But that airplane's too valuable to be trying to do tricks with. I mean, if something goes wrong, my fault, your fault, nobody's fault. That
Yeah.
airplane's gone."
Well, one of the last wings I made in my Robin Few production tenure was a wing for Matt Colan is going to build one for Andrew.
He's
And I
got it
made-
framed up.
I made
It's
him an
framed up as
F-14.
we speak.
Made him a wing for it.
Yep, he's got it framed up, and he says there's a lot of balsa in that airplane.
Yeah. If you never got to see Vic fly, there was a 2-year period there where Vic was almost unbeatable on the East Coast. I think he won every contest. Yeah, he was
Is
with the Crusader.
Yep.
Not so much the F-14. That was okay. That Crusader really flew well. It was very
I
good.
never. I was hesitant to fly that airplane just because it was Vic's, and I know a little history about that. And I said, "Dude, I'll fly it around there, but I ain't gonna do a pattern at that and stick its neck out. If the clump fell off the tank, anything go wrong, Bob, anything."
Yeah, it's not worth. It's just a piece of history.
It wasn't to me.
It is a piece of history, that's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. That's why my opinion. So we left it in the truck, and everybody oog-og over it. It's all good.
Guys,
Put that
speaking of
triple
history,
tail-
speaking of pieces of history, when Al Raby died, I wrote into Stunthangar and wondered about, one of his airplanes should maybe be presented to the AMA Museum. I never heard anything. Didn't seem to be any.
They accepted it. They accepted it. 2 of them.
Did they? Good.
Yeah. Mhm.
Good.
Yep.
Which ones did they do, Bob?
The Snaggletooth, and I believe a Sea Barrel, the Sea Fury.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Good
the
choice.
Snaggletooth, the one he used at the Worlds in '78, and here's a picture of from the team selection in.
Did they fix the canopy on the Sea Fury or put it in as it was on his last flight?
John Hill. Has completely refurbished them. Mhm.
Oh yeah.
There's a picture of Vic. He's on the right there, standing with the beard. We went to the team selection in '92 together. That's my son Robbie and I. We made the
Very
team
nice.
in China, and we listened to Eric Clapton's 24 Nights album all the way out and back.
Very cool.
That's a straight trailing edge airplane that flew very well.
Yep.
So
very nice.
Hey, Bob.
You.
When you were talking about paint schemes, it reminded me of something that's impressed me, and I'm starting to do it on my airplanes, and that came from Craig Gunder.
Mm-hmm.
And when Craig is getting to the point of thinking about how he wants to finish the airplane, he takes cardboard and makes a full-size profile of the fuselage. But what he does that's different is that he puts it in his shop about 65 feet away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, if you want to see how lines disappear or appear, that's really the best way to do it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it really is. And he also talked about having a line, either the thrust line or a line parallel to it. That gives the judges also the impression that the plane is flying properly.
Yeah, it's a reference line, you know.
Yeah.
I've seen airplanes where you had angled lines and they never look like they turn flat. They always look like they're either climbing or diving, depending on which line.
Yeah.
And I think we've all seen that. I mean, some of them look pretty. I mean, you look at them on the ground, and some of these trim schemes you see some of these guys can do, and the finishes are gorgeous. But in the air, I just don't think they look as good as a simple airplane, simple scheme with a lot of color separation and stark color separation, and very little trim and very little, gingerbread all over the thing, you know. In the air.
Welcome, Sparky. Hey, Sparky, I see you. How you doing?
Good.
I see you're back in the East shop, right? Or West shop?
Yeah, I'll be back at St. Louis Thursday night.
Very good.
Your airplane is gorgeous, Sparky.
Thank you,
Yes,
Bob.
it is.
Still rubbing, still sanding.
Did you get a chance to see Dan today, Sparky?
Yep, it sure did. He gave me my next pilot. Let me show it to you.
Some assembly required.
It's a Bell racing helmet.
Yep.
So I paint it and then paint the shield on it, glue it on the thing, and I just. But that
All right.
It's glass. It's fiberglass.
All right.
I don't know what it weighs. Let's see what it weighs.
There's a Route 66 coin.
Let's see what it weighs.
Let me see here. I have a comment from Hack and I don't know what he's talking about. I don't have a monitor, I mean, so I don't know what's going on there. But Jonathan Caradas, he says, "Hi, you guys. I can see we are all in a food coma post Xmas dinner. Bob, please explain what the T-bars on the elevator helped you achieve."
Did.
I know you've had to say this so many times already, Bob, but if you wouldn't mind.
Well, again, I don't technically know
Is that ready to go?
what they do, but it sounded like something I wanted to try. I saw that Dennis Nunes and Paul Walker had them on their airplanes in 2021 at the Nats. And, I asked about them, and they said they gave it a better turn and better lock after the corner, track better. So I figured I'll go home and try it. So I just arbitrarily made up a set of them that just taped on, and instantaneously the airplane turned better, locked better, tracked better. It was extremely noticeable. Now, as to why it works, maybe Howard has more insight than I do on that, but I just know it does work. And that's all I really care
Howard
about.
shaking his head no. He doesn't really have a comment about that.
Well, he makes them, so
Well, I don't know why they work.
Yeah, well, you're in the same boat, but they do work. So
on my airplane, they can't tell much difference, if any.
I guess it may be airplane dependent, but I know I put them on 3 airplanes now, and it had the same exact effect on all 3 airplanes. They track better, they lock better, and they turn better.
I'll try.
Just to give an example, they have about simpler color schemes. Where am I? There we go. Basically, simplest color scheme has that line, that separation between white and dark blue along the length of the fuselage, and the wing it's about as simple as you can get, but at least I thought it was pretty.
No, it's effective.
Yep.
Yes.
If you go in the quilting world and study quilts, you'll see the great quilts have a light, a medium, a dark. And there's something to that in all color schemes, a light, a medium, a dark. They make each other look better, in my opinion.
I have an answer for someone in the chat. The Hack, he's asking me, what is the Zoom code? The Zoom code is only available inside Stunthangar forum. You have to register. You go to stunthanger.com/SMF. You have to register with your real first and last name with a space and a real email address, and Sparky might approve you. And that's how you find the Zoom code. It's inside the Stunthangar forum, but not now. Anybody can go to the Stunthangar forum, but you won't see the at the bench. That only appears to people that are logged in to Stunthangar forum. Just to answer your question.
And there's another example of a fairly simple scheme. Straight lines and a lot of color separation that will show up in the air pretty well, I think.
Looks good. That looks really nice.
Going back to Peter's comment, I don't see how the Jive Combat team would look even any better if we'd added a medium.
If you had a what, Howard?
Yeah.
If we medium.
If you had a medium?
If we added one, yeah.
What do you mean if you added a medium? I'm sorry, I'm lost.
Well, he said that oh no, Joe was saying that yeah, it was Joe was saying quilts look good.
It's the color schemes. Quilts
Yeah.
look better colors or 3 shades. Quilts aren't airplanes, but if you draw straight lines and turn sharp and draw straight lines, I don't care what color that SOB is. If you draw straight lines and turns, you're going to score well if it's at the appropriate height and the shape. Howard told me 10 years ago, if you want to fly a better, if you want to get higher scores, fly better.
Yeah.
That's the truth of the whole matter, y'all.
Yeah.
Geez, what did we think of that?
Howard's right.
Yeah,
Joe
no shortcuts.
Bowman, Bobby Hunt, Billy Warwick flying 2010. I won't forget this. And he cut his hand open and got fixed up and still flew. And that airplane was either turning or it was going straight. That is the secret, y'all.
Wow. Yeah.
Turn or go straight.
Yeah.
Don't be making jiggers in the maneuvers. Turn or go straight.
Very good. I love that.
Where's the live like?
Excellent. Yeah, that's gospel there, Joe. Thank you.
I think it is, but dude, I like the straight lines. I get this, but you still got to go straight.
Oh yeah.
If you don't pull out straight, there's trouble in River City.
But if you have a reference line, it's going to highlight it.
Highlights it. That's
It'll
right.
look even better.
And it'll highlight the boo-boo too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bob,
Yep.
you know Chuck Holtapple well.
Sure.
And Chuck talked about, I just happened to Google it to make sure I had this right. Are you all familiar with the 60-30-10 rule?
No, I'm only familiar with the 80-20.
No, the 60-30-10 rule is the most effective way to use colors. And your main color, whether it's an apartment, a house, trimming a car, or an airplane, 60% should be your main color. Your second color should take 30% of the space, and a third color, 10%.
Yeah.
And apparently it's almost like a proven theorem or whatever you want to call it. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. If you look at Bob's planes, I bet it's very close to that.
You know, I was talking to Steve Busso this afternoon, and it just reminded me to say this about Steve. Steve had told me once something that really stuck in my head. He said about a paint scheme. He said a paint scheme should be designed so that if you take the airplane away and just leave the paint scheme, it should look as though it would fly.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
You know.
Wow. Yeah.
That was interesting and very insightful, actually.
An interesting thing is, I remember years ago, Al Raby, we were speaking, I don't know how we were speaking, whether it was on Stunthangar or whatnot, but he was looking for someone to be able to duplicate a graphic for one of his airplanes. And I believe the graphic he was looking to duplicate was called Rare Bear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
remember, I turned around and I told him that I would do that for him. And actually I did do that. I recreated that graphic, that rare bear graphic for
Wow.
him in a graphic arts program that I had. And he was such a gentleman because I sent him the files and whatnot, so he can send them to somebody that had maybe a vinyl cut or whatever, or use them as a template. And he turned around and he sent me plans for his, I guess this particular airplane that he was building.
Wow. Very nice.
He
I
had
have
he had a gold and white one. I don't know which one that was. What was really pretty?
Conquest, maybe?
Could be.
Or was it the Gulf Hawk?
I
No,
don't
that was
really
orange.
recall. He was just looking for that graphic, somebody that can like recreate that graphic in a computer file.
Keith had the Gulf Hawk scheme on his Bearcat. It was gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
John Jordan has the exact same model. They were built at the exact same time. They look identical.
Wow.
I
Very
guess
cool.
Keith and John were mailing back and forth plans and drawings and stuff when they were built.
I have a greetings from Wild Bill. It says, "Hola, amigos from the great Southwest."
Hey.
Hey,
Buenas noches.
Whenever I
crickets.
hear Wild Bill, I think of Wild Bill Netspan.
Yeah, right.
He was a pretty smart fella.
Yeah, I
Yes.
flew with him one day. It was a really interesting time.
Years ago, my grandfather's sitting right over on the couch and he's looking through a stunt news from Tucson. And he says, wow, Bill, I know Bill Nesbitt. Bill Nesbitt's been in my office. His dad's name this, his brother's this. They all work for me at the mine at Pitcher, Oklahoma. And I asked Bill about that. And my grandfather knew all of it.
Wow.
Not all airplanes from Pitcher mines when they were looking for zinc years ago in Neosho, Missouri. And he knew Bill, and knew Bill went to he went to work for an airplane company. I can't tell you who it was in the 70s, but probably McDonnell Douglas sticks in my head, but I'm not sure that's right.
Oh, check this out.
McDonald.
There
McDonnell.
you go. You guys see this picture here?
Dude, it's a Fierce Aero 400.
That's Bill Nutsy Band.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Yeah, I forgot the plane he was flying when I met him. I don't think it was a Fierce Arrow. I forgot what it was.
There's another picture of him.
I can't think right now what he flew. He was a neat guy. He was okay.
Oh yeah, it was great.
I wouldn't argue that. That's it.
Had a great sense of humor too.
Yeah, I think that was more in line what I saw, something like that when I was flying with him. It was Wild Bill Netspan, Dave Sabon, myself, and Bob Brooks, I think.
He had several airplanes similar to that.
And does that look like anybody else's airplane?
Bob Barron.
There you go. They work together on this concept, you know, the humbug concept.
I've got a humbug out in the garage with a Fox 19 in it.
I flew Bob's, the one he won VSC with. I flew it I was actually judging that year, and I flew it after the contest. It was a great little airplane.
I bet.
Mm.
Oh yeah, just 1 second, guys. If anybody ever wants, some wallpapers for their computers or whatnot, just let me know, because I've done quite a few of them that I would be more than happy to get and to send you guys as a file. Whoops. Okay.
That's what I have.
That's yours?
No, I got one just like that.
Oh, okay.
Ted Snow built. Ted Snow built the one I have.
I flew that one at BSC. That's the only one BSC with.
That rascal will fly.
That plane in the background is really pretty. That purple plane was pretty.
Hold on. We'll get it back again. Hold on. don't know if I can get it back. We'll try. Well, all right.
Yeah, it's really stylish lines. Really pretty lines.
That purple plane, was that the Monado from Warden?
I couldn't tell.
Put the picture back
It
there.
probably was a Monado, yeah.
He's trying to.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to find that? Wild Bill says, ever hear of Al Gluck?
Alan Buck, sure. Mhm.
And he says,
Good friend of mine.
Chola Choppers in Tucson. And then John Carrata says, Mark, I really like your color ratio. I use it for my special diet too. 30% beef, 30% mashed potatoes, and gravy, 10%. Oh, wait, excuse me. And then no, 10% beer. Pardon me. That's 30% beef, 30% mashed potatoes and gravy, and then 10% beer.
I'm glad I contribute.
Yes. So he said, yes, 60% beef. I think is what he meant.
Funny.
60% beef and then 30% mashed potatoes and gravy and 10% beer. Yeah, that'll work.
Actually, Mark, here, those ratios you're saying, I guess I kind of lucked out on that on my vector. That's pretty much what it worked out to. I got it sitting here.
All right. And I see your hand raised, Peter. I'll get to you in a second.
Okay, take your time.
I built a little.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that looks like about right.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
So which is the 60%, the red or the white?
White.
White.
Yeah, I like that.
This was
I got a bit busy on the tail for stripes, so I should have left those top.
Oh,
lines.
looky there. Cool. Chickers.
yeah.
That's
Cool.
neat.
Electric powered. We call it I was going to call it the lightning bug because it's electric powered. My friend was building one with me. I was teaching him how to build, and he said, "I'm learning so much." He said, "We're going to call this the enlightening bug."
Enlightened. That's good. That rascal will fly good if you give it a chance.
That flies really good. It's a nice little work.
That
I
rascal-
bet that fuselage can't twist with that.
That's right. That's why it's only
friction back there.
It's only a quarter-inch thick, with 1/32 ply doublers, and it weighs nothing, and it really does fly good.
They'll do well.
Yeah,
All righty,
big-
Peter. You got the floor, Peter.
Oh, okay.
Somebody, oh, there we go.
I was just gonna say, if fellas ever want like some wallpaper for your computer screens and what, I'll always be very, very happy to do something up for you as long as I can knock out the 3D model of that particular airplane. But now this is just one example of it.
Wow.
It's just, for a computer wallpaper, or this one I don't have. I don't have the airplanes, the propellers spinning on it. But yeah, that was my mistake. The propellers look like they're stationary. But if ever want some wallpapers, as long as I can either do the 3D model or I have access to it, will most certainly more than willing to just knock something out for you and send it to you.
Wow, that's
Very nice.
That's very nice, Peter. Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah, very, very
Get
nice.
that picture of the F-14.
That picture, that's not a picture. Wait a second. Let me go share screen. That is not a picture. That is that is a 3D computer generated model that I created.
Wow.
And I put that, I superimposed that onto a background plate of an actual aerial photograph.
Did you do that in Blender?
No, I'm familiar with Blender. The software that I use is called Lightwave 3D. That's my 3D modeling and rendering package of choice.
So is
Wow,
that a
that's
mesh?
awesome.
But yeah, you can achieve the same thing in Blender. Oh, absolutely.
Is that a mesh or? 2D?
Yes, that's a mesh. That is a mesh. That is a 3D mesh created object. I'll see if Spark, if you want it, I'll see if I can dig it up and hopefully I'll be able to convert it to something that Blender will import. But yes, that is a 3D construct.
You know that you tried to do an F-14, right?
Yep.
It's not quite correct. I just thought I'd tell you that.
That's okay. I mean, I did the best that I could with the pictures that I had to reference. I think I even have an A10 Warthog somewhere in my library.
The nacelles come up higher towards the canopy, and that turtle deck that you got behind the canopy, that backbone, is non-existent. They call that the ball field back there because it was so big.
Okay, I mean, it's like I'm not saying it's perfect. It's
yeah, but it's recognizable. I recognized it right away.
But that's Vic Macaluso flying it.
Yes, it is.
That's very good. Very, very good.
It's like I said, you have 3D pictures that you can find on the internet, and kind of like you're trying to, put it all together. So it's like, okay, yeah, there's going to be, some inaccuracies there because I'm not a 100% expert at doing 3D models. Of course,
That's probably closer to a MiG-29.
Okay.
But they basically look the same. I guess the MiG was stolen from the F-14.
So yeah, and then of course here I made my mistake. There's no pilot in there, obviously, and I did not apply the motion, the motion blur to the propeller, so it looks like it just rolled out in the air.
The shutter speeds stop the props.
Or he's just out of gas.
They do, don't they?
He's out of gas, dead sticking it in.
No, he's already bailed out, so he's not in there.
Yep.
Shutter speed stop the props.
Oh, I have a few more, but I'm not going to go hunt them down right now. But at any rate, if anybody who ever wants, I've got the P-51, I've got the A-10 Warthog, I've got the F-14. If you ever want any, screensavers, just for your computers or whatnot, I'll be more than happy to send them off. And if you want, Sparky, I'm going to try to find that mesh and send it off to you. So, and hopefully, I think I can get it into an OBJ file that Blender can open so you can play with it.
Is it a full airplane or just that part of it?
No, it's the full airplane. It is the full airplane. That's just happens to be the angle that I put it in when I took the screen grab of the render.
Yeah, go ahead and send me the mesh.
Okay. Yep. And so, and I think it might be able to either convert it or maybe an OBJ file. I can't remember. It was years ago.
It's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
And I'll send you whatever texture maps I have.
All right, great.
Go ahead,
Howard,
Bob.
Here's one for Howard.
Oh, there we go. Wow, Diplomat. Wow, very cool.
I flew against that one.
You did? How'd you do?
He beat me.
All right, Phil.
There's about 1 or 2 points difference between our flights.
Look how thin the fuselage is at the back.
Yeah, that is really thin.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Do you have an external horn on that?
I don't know.
Wow, that is super thin. You good catch.
How little the elevators are,
I'm just tripping off the bell-bottom pants and the cuffs. I remember that.
Yeah.
That's probably in the 70s. Is that right, Gordon?
Yeah, it was in the 70s.
And
those kind of look like platform shoes even.
Yes, maybe. But he wasn't that short. It wasn't like he needed platforms.
Well, Jive Combat Team's always up to date on fashion.
For those who don't know, that's what the
Elvis look, didn't you, Howard?
Well, back in the Elvis day, yeah.
Didn't you have the bozo look for a while?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
I have a comment from Bryce Rackley. He says, "Sorry, Jonathan, I haven't dropped off the venison to you. And then Jonathan Carrata says, thanks, but I hope it's not one of Santa's reindeer. So anyways.
Well, guys, I'm still feeling a little bit sick from what I had over the Christmas season, so I think I'm going to shut down and go to bed.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Bob.
Bob Whitley, thank you very much.
Catch you on Friday.
Catch you on Friday. Hey, Mike Lonke, you have something you want to share? All right, in a minute. Okay. Sounds good.
I got a quick share. You got a minute?
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
All right.
Oh,
We know how Mark Gerber has been showing us the colorization software he has, right?
yeah.
Right.
All right. I sent him this picture. This is my dad a very long time ago, like
Yeah.
1950. And this is his original big wing. And nobody had any idea what color it was until now.
Wow.
Look at that.
And we're pretty sure that the color, just looking at the color of things around him and everything like that, I thought it was a real eye opener, I guess,
It
to
is.
see that.
Wow.
And to see what he had to work with. There's not a heck of a lot there, right?
What-
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Was that a takeoff on the DeBolt Sport Wing?
It was double size, which would have made it 72-inch span. But then one of their buddies built a double sized Testers sophomore. So it had a 78-inch wing, and of course they couldn't build a double size big wing at only 72. So after they started building it, they actually took all of the outer ribs and respaced them an extra inch to get the wing out to 78 inches. So theirs would be as big as the other guys.
Oh my gosh.
Is that a super cyclone?
Is that what again?
The motor, is that a super cyclone?
That's a OK Super 60.
Wow.
I don't know if there's a
OK
better
Super
picture
60.
of the
Wow.
motor or not here.
That motor looks tiny compared to that plane.
Oh, I'm all over the place here. I thought I had some more pictures of it, but oh wait, I do, but there's someplace else. So
I
any
couldn't
rate,
believe I can't believe how good yours flew. Yours flew so well.
oh, it does fly very well.
Oh,
Flies
man,
like a big
flies-
trainer.
Flies great.
So any rate, I wish Mark was here. Well, of course, Mark has seen it, but if he could have taken a bow for it, because excuse me, he's been doing these things, and I think it's really neat. You think about how many of the old historic airplanes and magazine articles and things like that, and how many times on Stunthangar the question comes up, gee, does anybody know what the original looked like? Well, I think we actually got a fighting chance of filling in some of those blanks.
Yeah.
So
That's
And that one-
fantastic.
That was a good one.
Good.
Yeah. I could use that for some of my old clothes.
I got something I'd like to share for Howard. Was that Phil Granderson you were showing a picture of earlier with the stunt plane?
Yeah.
Okay, coincidental. Andy Miner posted a magazine on the Maca page. It's called Lina or Lena.
Yeah.
It's an Eastern European magazine. And I downloaded the PDF of it, and I was scrolling through it, and they happened to do FAI championship stuff from like 76 to current. There's a whole bunch of pictures in there. So I've got a picture of Phil Granderson back from, can you all see that?
No.
Yeah, we see something.
Nostalgia FAI F2D World Champs. Are you seeing that one?
No, I'm seeing Miniature Aircraft Combat Association.
Okay.
See your whole computer screen.
Let's see. All right, let me redo this. I probably gotta pull that up. All right, I'll be back in a second. I'm sorry, I screwed up.
No worries, no worries.
In the meantime,
Oh, there we go.
That's a diva.
Oh, Diva. Yeah.
I've flown that airplane.
What'd
So
you
did
think?
I borrowed it.
What'd you guys think of it?
I flew out there on a AMA business. He was in the printing, and he found a place that was making a device, a printing machine that we wanted at AMA, because I was working for AMA at Model Aviation. So I flew out there on their dime, and I stayed at his house with Kathleen for a few days, and we went down to the Golden State Championships, and he let me borrow that and fly it. Great airplane.
Yes, it flew awesome.
It did, with that little Magnum 36 in it with the pipe.
Yep.
Great airplane. He was one of the he's at once he was one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life, and he was one of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my life, if not the most intelligent person I've ever met.
Yep.
Phil and I kept in touch for years, after he quit flying combat. And I talked to him about 3 months before he passed away.
That was good. Yeah,
I
him and
talked
I,
to
we
him,
just could
less
never
than a
get
week
on.
before he passed away.
I think I got it here, Charles.
All righty.
If Bob is done.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Okay. That should be it.
There we go.
I don't know what country this magazine is published in.
Sweden.
Sweden. Okay. So there's actually a pretty good thing on the world champs for 2022 and the Polish week. Real quick. There's Howard. There's Howard's.
Saw Howard. I saw Tryan.
There's Howard's plane, bottom right corner at the world champs. There is Tryan. But the thing I thought was interesting when we get to the next page here, they do, so they talk about the FAI F2D World Champs from 76, and then there's different pages. This is 76 to 80, but they go all the way up to current, and there is Phil Granderson, USA, right there.
There we go.
Yeah. Got too many magazines that'll show you the whole Jive Combat team.
So he took third there in 80. It's like.
That's right.
Yeah. I thought Howard would get a kick out of that because I don't know if you were over there then, Howard, or.
No, I wasn't.
But I know you knew him back then.
I can piggyback on that for you. There it is.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
It was 1980. He took third place, the first time we ever medaled in combat.
Really? Wow.
It was the second time they had combat.
Right. That was our first medal in combat. He took a third.
Yep.
And he had the flu so bad he could hardly stand up. He was sick for the whole week.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd like to share a story about Phil. When we first started flying against each other, he'd sit there and ask me questions. And finally, I realized what was going on. I just, shut up, Phil, I'm busy. He'd ask you a question right in the middle of a combat match. And while you're thinking about an answer, he's chewing on your streamer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of his tricks.
Yeah. I mean, it was always fun to fly because he'd talk to you, and I got to where I just ignore him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I get.
No, that's a pretty plane.
Yep, I got a picture of that one also.
That is pretty.
So,
That's hanging out in the shop right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Phil.
Tim's fixing to come get it and take it to VSC.
Oh, good for
good.
Tim.
Yeah, your friend Charles, your friend Dave Sabon, he had a really nice Olympic at BSC.
Yes, I had it for a minute.
For a minute.
Oh, really? He Bob Brooks had it, and Bob Brooks got Dave's permission, and then he gave it to me, Matter of fact, Jeff Riley, he swears that's one of the best flying planes I flew at. He saw me fly it at the Palmer, and he really enjoyed seeing me fly that plane. But nostalgia came upon Dave Sabon, and he asked for it back. So
That's a heck of a thing.
but no, we came up with a really good deal, an amicable deal. I mean, he actually gave me, we did a trade, so I'm happy and he's happy.
He flew that thing very well, actually.
Yeah, he flew it. Yeah, he flew it very well. I mean, I just saw him practice with it. I never saw him compete with it.
Yeah, so as a matter of fact, I have a whole flight of his on one of my VSC videos, my DVDs that I did at VSC 8 or 9. I forgot. I think it was 9. I have a flight of him flying the Olympic, and it really looks good.
Philip or Dave Sabon?
Dave Sabon.
Yeah. When I flew it, mine did not have the Aero Tiger that his had. He had the Aero Tiger with his.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the motor, but I ended up putting a Thunder Tiger, which is basically the base that Randy used to make it into an Aero Tiger, but it's not the same.
I remember doing an interview with Phil at VSC 9, and he was in a rare form, and he gave me the best interview I've ever had. He's funny, and he said that when he was born, he said, I didn't say mother, I said airplane. And then he says, I like model airplanes because it gives me a smell that can be identified all over the world.
Do that.
Smell like, model airplanes.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
Nothing like castor in the morning. The smell of castor.
Got the black cat. We got the Mojo hand. We got the black cat bone. We got the castor oil, which is our pheromone.
It sounds like a Robert Johnson song, actually.
I like that, Howard. I like that.
We got there's a lot of the songs like Jive Combat Team, put balsa dust around your bed. Wake up in the morning, find your glow plug dead.
Oh man,
that's funny.
Very good.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, good night.
I'll see you Friday.
Hey, I'm glad you're feeling better, Dennis.
Well,
Keep
that's
getting
the problem. I'm better than I was Friday, but I'm still dragging.
Yeah.
Bob, thanks for the picture show. That was great.
Yeah.
And
Love yours
everybody,
too.
have a good week.
Hey, good night.
You too,
Take care.
bud.
Thanks for coming in, Dennis.
Danny.
Thank you very much.
I met him in 1965.
Him being
Dennis Adamson.
Oh wow. Wow, that's
And Nats in 65. Willow Grove. Just a little kid.
Yeah, I guess he was just a pup.
I was just a little kid.
very cool. Hey, Sparky, did you get anything for Christmas?
No, nothing.
How about you, Gordon? You get anything for Christmas, Gordon?
Other than my wife running over me, no, that's all. My wife hit me with her car.
Intentional.
Was going down to St. George and decided I'd drive, and she had left it in drive, and I walked around the front of it, and it hit me, and I put my hands in front of me. It knocked me down about 4 or 5 feet on that nice bumpy pavement they have.
Oh man, I'm glad you're here with us. Oh my goodness.
Well, you can't see the bottom.
She didn't hit the gas again, which I was glad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If I had put my hands out, probably would have busted both my knees.
Oh man, Gordon, I'm glad you're all right, man. Oh, yeah, accidents happen.
Yeah,
I had a Triumph Spitfire. I went out to Little Rock, California. It was pretty new, maybe a couple months old. To show my cousins, and I let my cousin drive the car. And it's a Triumph, it's a British car, sports car. And so we parked the car
And it
in the
ran?
passenger seat, and I get out, and we go in the house, and then we're in the house for a while, and you have a knock at the door. Someone knocks at the door, and we come to the door and I go, do you own a red sports car? I go, yeah. And he goes, it's in our yard. My cousin must have left it in neutral and didn't put the brake on, rolled across the street. Thank God it hit nothing, missed a tree, ended up being in a neighbor down the street's yard.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like,
Wow.
so yeah, things happen.
Yeah. Sandy's out there dragging around the pavement wanting me to get up. I said, I would if I could. And we had 4 cars stop, one run across the road, and he helped get me to my feet. I'm still kind of banged up.
Oh, I bet, Gordon. What you've had a rough last 6, 7, 8 months. Your hands getting cut and
yeah.
Hey, Gordy.
Yes, sir.
Remember when I flew that Gemini twin?
Oh, yeah.
At VSC that 1 year?
Yep.
Well, here, remember I said I was complaining about my shoulder hurting?
Yeah.
Remember that? Well, here's what it looked like after I flew your Gemini.
Yeah, wish.
That's what it looked like.
That's a plane that really pulls. I mean,
What's all
one could imagine how hard that pulled to pull your skin off.
Motorcycle accident.
Let Ted Thatcher fly it, and when the one engine shut off, he says, "Thank God."
Yeah. Have you ever flown one of David Fitzgerald's airplanes?
Yeah, I flew them all several times.
That's the only airplane I think I've ever flown that pulls harder than your Gemini.
Oh, well, I hated his handle. His handle hurt my hand when I was flying it. And he said, I need you to come over here and put some flights on my airplane, break the engine in. If I'd been smart, I would have changed the handle.
Whew.
I flew
They pulled hard.
5 or 6 flights on it for him. And man, it pulls for a little airplane, 630 squares, it pulls your arm off.
It sure does.
Yeah. That big 75 ender rolling and rocking. And I mean, the motor just runs a straight 4-cycle.
And that thing pulls like a freight train.
You know, he's getting up there in age too, where he's going to retire. He's going to have to get something a little smaller on power wise.
I know he's building an electric airplane now.
Well, it's a dual airplane. He's building 2 fuselage for the same wing and tail. One's going to be for the 75, and the other will be for electric.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be able to swap the wing and tails around on the 2 fuselage. So.
Yeah, I asked him, well, why don't you just build an electric? Then if you don't like it, then you can build the other one. He said he didn't want to go through the finishing process twice.
Yeah. But he's got 2 fuselages to finish.
Well, he only goes through that finishing process once about every 20 years. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he leaves it as is.
I have a request here from a guy named that's his handle. He says, hello, fellows. I'm with my wife right now, and I'm in dire need of talking to you boys. If you can give me the code or link so I can join. And anyway, all I can say is I sent you the link. It's stunthanger.com/SMF. You need to use your real first and last name, put a space between your first and last name. Sparky is here in this Zoom call right now. He can check you out, and you must have a valid email address or Sparky will not approve you. That's how you get in. I don't know who you are. And so that's the thing. Go ahead and register. Sparky's right here. If it's okay with him, he'll give you the link go to at the bench, and then you can come into this space. We're going to be ending the live stream shortly, so do that ASAP, and maybe you can join us in the after party if you don't get in here in time.
Copy. Let me find it on YouTube here. Okay, go here. Got to mute. It might echo a little bit here for a second.
No problem.
Ending the live. Okay, here is the link to At the Bench. You can't see it unless you're registered. Register and I will approve you if you meet the criteria. Real first and last name, valid email address.
Thank you, Sparky. So, Peter, what you got going on? I see you raised your hand digitally.
Okay, this is for Sparky. Share. All right. Where's my cursor? I gotta find my cursor here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, yeah, there's Sparky. There it is. There's the entire mesh. I'm sure you can see it.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I'm going to turn around. I'm going to send that to you. I can't right now. I'm looking for the texture files because this should be already textured in my Lightwave application. But as soon as I dig up the texture files, or maybe I won't dig up the texture files, so I'll send you. I'll export this in an OBJ format that can be pulled into Blender, and
just send it both ways, the mesh and the OBJ file.
Well, the OBJ file is the mesh that Blender can open.
Okay.
Right now it's in a LWO file, which is for Lightwave, that application. I don't know if Blender can open an LWO file.
Right. Okay.
So I'm going to send that over. I'll send you the LWO that this Lightwave 3D package can open. And I will send you, I'll export it as an OBJ. And I know that Blender can open an OBJ file.
How many faces is it? Do you know?
Huh?
How many faces is it? Do you know?
I have to surface editor points. Let me see here. Where are my statistics? Where are my statistics? Load, save. No. Surface editor. Damn it! I got that paused thing there. Here a second. Okay. Perspective texture. I go wireframe. There's the wireframe. Where are my statistics? Selection, setup, views, layers. There is quite a few layers on this. Hopefully Blender won't object. Utilities. Okay. Damn it. Vertex maps, layers, editors, script. No. A detail. Merge points. No. Construct map. Utilities.
What language is?
Excuse me?
Is that English you're talking?
No, I'm just looking through my software so I can turn around and see how many polygons this this object is. Okay. Let's go. We're in wireframe.
Well, it don't matter. Just send it, and I'll pull it in and see how many faces it is.
Yep. Yeah, because as you can see, there's a lot of there is quite a bit of detail in here, especially since there are pilots in the cockpit. I can turn around and I can just turn around and separate everything is in a lot of different items are in different layers, like the wheels and the struts.
How many layers is it?
How many?
Yeah, you don't know.
There are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. There's a lot. 60 different layers. with different components in each layer. So you
Amazing.
can pretty,
Almost as many parts as a pattern master.
basically, like I said, here's like layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Layer 5 has got a part of one part of the landing gear.
Wow.
Right there.
How many hours
And
did that take you to make?
I was working on this for a month. You kidding me? And then this other layer includes parts.
Those are
Parts
the
of
air
the
dams.
flaps. And then this layer includes the nose. And this,
Radome.
That's a lot of work.
this layer is the canopy, and this layer is the base. That layer is the airframe. Layer 1 is the basic airframe, but the whole thing can be deconstructed into its subcomponents. So you can see as I'm clicking on layers to make them visible, you can see different parts of the airplane starting to assemble. And I go here and here, here. So the mesh is completely editable.
You did a
And
great
so
job
long,
on it.
Pretty amazing, Peter.
Mhm.
all right. So I'll package this up into a attachment. I'll send that off to you, and then I'm gonna go and hunt down the texture files for you, Sparky.
Cool.
All right. Thank you very much.
Wow.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to do it that way because you can't just do it all in one. Yeah, you can't do it all in one layer, or it becomes completely unmanageable. So you just
That looks
pick an object like
unmanageable,
the front landing gear, the back landing gear, and various different components, and you model them separately, and then in the file you just assemble them all together. And once you have all the layers merged, you have the full object.
Well,
That's just the most efficient way of making something like this.
That is so amazing. I'll show my son that image. Have him replay this show and show him that. That is amazing. Well, you guys, I'm just about ready to end the live stream and go into the after party. I was hoping that the hack guy could maybe come in. Who's this? Someone named John's coming in. Did you approve anybody named John, Sparky?
No, I don't know, John. He still hasn't registered.
Okay.
That's me.
It's you. Hey,
Oh.
hey.
Oh,
I was
you
thinking about you earlier, John. I forgot what the subject was, but there was something. Oh, yeah, it was about the Dave Saban's Olympic. He had asked me why I put the down thrust. When he gave it to me, it did not have any down thrust. And I put down thrust in it. And,
Good night, guys. I gotta go to bed.
Good night, Sparky. Thanks for coming in.
Smart.
See you.
Anyways, he was just intrigued, and I told him it just seemed to track better with the down thrust.
It does, according to Wiley.
Yeah, so that was just a little bit. I mean, I don't remember what the degree was, but it wasn't a lot, but just enough. But he noticed it.
Did he?
Yeah, well, he noticed it in the engine compartment. I don't know if he noticed it flying. I mean, he flew it, but I don't know if he, I had trimmed it a little bit different after he gave it to me, but he flew it. He thought it flew great. So
Oh, it probably did.
the image earlier of Phil Grandison's Olympic, and then someone else's Olympic. There was two Olympics.
Dave Saban.
Dave Saban's Olympic, yeah. Well, anyway, John, you came in just in time for the after party, and thanks everybody for hanging on till the very end. I appreciate it. I know it's a long show, and appreciate everyone's attendance. Thank you so much for coming in, and we're gonna just end the live stream, and so we'll be back Friday, and hopefully you had a chance to work on your shop, or maybe if you live in Southern California, you can go do some flying and come back and tell us all about it.